Right now, residents at the Harmony Apartments remember a young girl who lost her life in a deadly shooting 1 year ago today, as Madison police continue to search for a final suspect. Plus, search and rescue operations underway after Hurricane Milton, as millions remain without power. And later, as we get closer to the election, you're probably getting more mail telling you how to cast your ballot, but which mail can you trust? We'll hear from local election officials to find out. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. It has been 1 year now since Kaisha Miller died at Harmony Apartments on Madison's east side. Last year, 4 people got out of an SUV and fired 50 rounds, killing the 15-year-old and injuring 3 others. Police are calling it a cowardly act of violence. Our Tanisha Shaw spoke to Kaisha's sister, who was there when it happened.
I was looking forward to going to high school with her. Now I'm in high school by myself.
Kalia Smith is continuing her high school career without her big sister. Kaisha Miller died in October during a shooting outside the Harmony Apartments.
Yeah, that was my voice.
You could say she was your protector?
Yeah, I could say that.
Smith was with Miller at the apartments during her sister's last moments.
I remember me feeling scared that day when they started shooting. We all just got to running, and it just came out of nowhere, so it really was just a shocking.
Madison police arrested 4 of the 5 suspects connected to the shooting. They're seen in this photo at the scene. Police Chief Sean Barnes says they're working hard to find the other person involved.
On some DNA analysis, we've gone through a bunch of digital evidence. We've talked to people who wanted to give information, and so we're just going through the investigative process. We think it's important that not only we're able to charge someone, that we can successfully prosecute them.
The chief also told me that a silver lining from the incident is a new relationship with local law enforcement and the community here at the Harmony Apartments.
Because we really believe that that's the way to end violence, to end crime, is you have to create a sense of community. The trust has certainly increased between the police and the people at Harmony because, again, we have officers who were there before this tragic event. They're there during this tragic event, and we're committed to being there after this tragic event. We want to bring justice and some semblance of peace.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. We've been following the Harmony Apartments for over a year now. We have our extended coverage online at channel3000.com. Now to the latest in Florida, where Milton slammed into the state late last night as a strong Category 3 hurricane. According to the National Hurricane Center, winds reached speeds of up to 180 miles per hour when it was out over the Gulf. A wave of fast-spawning tornadoes added to the storm's destructive impact in several cities. At one point in St. Lucie County, 3 twisters hit the ground in less than 25 minutes, according to an analysis of the National Weather Service. Those tornadoes are blamed for several deaths. With Milton now off in the Atlantic, people are assessing the damage left behind. Some areas outside the evacuation zones were not immune to the storm.
We had people that evacuated here to make sure they were safe. These are people that live day to day, and they have nothing.
Milton's storm surge, though less than expected, still landed a powerful punch, with some areas seeing a surge of more than 5 feet over normal high tides. St. Petersburg experienced a 1 in 1,000 year rainfall. Naples saw its second highest watermark on record. Meanwhile, evacuees in Milwaukee will soon be heading back to see the extent of the damage in Florida. At Mitchell International Airport in Milwaukee, dozens of travelers from Orlando picked up their luggage after getting on one of the final flights out of Florida. Floridian Ann Wall says she moved her flight up earlier to visit family in Lake Geneva. Wall says her friends and family members had been preparing for the storm, and some have evacuated.
Well, scary for them, you know, because sometimes you have small children, you have animals, and it's hard leaving everything and you don't know what you're going to come back to. But your life's more important. That stuff can all be replaced.
And as travelers return home, many say they're just praying for the safety of their friends and family members. And if you want to help victims of Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, we have a link to donate at the top of our Channel 3000 webpage. So far, viewers have pitched in to raise nearly $7,000. We want to thank everyone who has donated, and the Red Cross for all of it is doing to help victims. Also helping with relief efforts, Hy-Vee. Starting today, you can round up your purchases at checkout at any Hy-Vee store and Dollar Fresh Market. All donations will go to the American Red Cross to help those affected by the hurricanes, and this will run through October 25th. Temperatures heading back up around here, but then things will drastically change. Your First One forecast and Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington on the patio. Alex?
Eric, out here on the patio right now, we're going upwards right now with our roller coaster ride. Temperatures are in the 70s, upper 60s to the lower 70s. We have a bit of a roller coaster over the past 24 hours. It did 60s yesterday at this time, got down into the upper 30s to right around 40. And then our roller coaster ride took us up to the low to mid 70s across southern Wisconsin today, but it's going to get even warmer by the time we get into Friday. And as you mentioned, then the roller coaster ride is going to take us down to fall-like readings. 67 right now with our Upland Hills Health-sponsored Skycam showing a beautiful scene across southern Wisconsin. Planning our evening tonight. I plan to get a walk-in after the 6 o'clock newscast here with temperatures in the low to mid 60s. We can do that with a short sleeve shirt and pair of shorts. Temperatures tonight when Jacob does our newscast still near 60 degrees. Normal highs this time of year, low to mid 60s. Overnight lows tonight, chilliest in the Wisconsin River Valley, upper 40s to near 50. Otherwise lower, in even some cases middle, maybe even some upper 50s across portions of southern Wisconsin. This is out ahead of a series of cold fronts that are going to be bringing temperature changes to southern Wisconsin after a summer-like Friday. Showers will eventually enter the picture, clouds and much cooler temperatures by Sunday. And then we got a good chance for our widespread frost next week. We'll talk about those temperature trends, how cold we're going to get next week, and what days are the best days next week for the potential for that widespread frost in just a couple of moments.
Alex, thank you. A man who is pleading guilty in a deadly shooting outside of Madison bar will spend several years in prison. 23-year-old Caleb DiMaggio is being sentenced to 18 years in prison, along with 15 years extended supervision. He pled guilty to second-degree intentional homicide in the death of 44-year-old Jason Pritchard. That shooting happened May 5th last year outside the Badger Tavern on Seminole Highway. Witnesses say DiMaggio shot Pritchard after being upset that the victim did not want to fight him. DiMaggio was initially set to stand trial after pleading not guilty, but changed that plea to avoid a possible mandatory life sentence. A big day at the polls is just around the corner, and political campaigns are going down every route to reach potential voters, including the mail route. Armand Rahman shows us what you can trust in your mailbox to make sure you have a smooth trip to the ballot box.
You probably encountered this many mornings during an election cycle. You go to check your mail, and you find a lot of literature from campaigns telling you who to vote for. But can you trust the ones that tell you how to cast your ballot? Just under a month out from Election Day now, and there's still rarely a moment Madison Deputy City Clerk Jim Verbick and his staff can sit and relax.
I know a lot of people just see voting as happening on Election Day, and there's a lot of things that happen leading up to that.
There can also be a lot for us to keep track of at home, like all the political mailers we receive.
I think there's different PACs that send stuff out. There's political parties, there's nonprofits.
Most are easy to spot as from a specific campaign or party, but some can blur the lines between partisan, official, and alarming, especially if you're not sure if you're still registered to vote.
Every election, even the non-busy ones, we have folks who are sending out registration forms en masse to folks who they get information from the state on.
Verbick says the city clerk's office likely won't mail you a registration form unless requested. To check if one you got is legitimate, regardless of who sent it to you, the return address should still be that of your municipal clerk.
99% of the times they are still registered. I would not send a registration form to any third-party group to get to us.
While he hasn't heard of anyone sending their information to someone malicious, it can and has happened. This goes for registration forms and places that ask you to request an absentee ballot that aren't myvote.wi.gov.
Have hesitation to provide any third-party group with your driver's license number, your date of birth, your last four of your social.
So as you find more of these, you can respond to some of them, but it's probably best to go to myvote.wi.gov and throw these in the trash. Reporting in Madison, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Now, Wednesday was the last day to register to vote online, but you can still do so in person when in-person absentee voting starts. That'll be October 22nd. And again, to check your location, as Armand said, head to myvote.wi.gov. More campaign visits are being scheduled here in Wisconsin. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will be campaigning in Green Bay and also in Eau Claire on Monday, the 14th. This is Governor Walz's 5th visit to the state since becoming Kamala Harris's running mate. The last time he was here, he visited Wausau. This visit will come less than a week after Minnesota First Lady First Lady of Minnesota, Gwen Walz, visited Beloit and Madison yesterday, campaigning on behalf of Kamala Harris. The campaign says while in Eau Claire, Governor Walz will participate in a political event. Meanwhile, First Lady Jill Biden will be back in Madison on Monday. The campaign stop is on behalf of Vice President Harris. First Lady expected to speak on reproductive rights, democracy, and economic opportunity, among other topics. There's no word on exactly where or when she will be speaking. And Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont campaigning for Kamala Harris in Baraboo over the weekend. Senator Sanders plans to be there on Saturday. He also plans to campaign in Superior later that day. We're also learning Senator Sanders will campaign in Milwaukee next Monday as well. He will talk about health care access, labor rights, and the importance of voting. Coming up on News 3 Now at 6, a couple of national recalls you should be aware of. Plus, Amazon continues to grow its pharmacy business. How much they're hoping to expand same-day delivery by next year. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
No matter how you say it. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Joan Baldwin wants to ban abortion, even in cases of rape, incest, and when the mother's life is at risk.
And would jail doctors who perform them.
Baldwin voted to ban birth control, too, and to deny rape victims emergency contraception.
Banning all abortions and birth control? No one wants to tell you what to do with your body
more than Joan Baldwin.
But she can't tell you what to do with your vote.
Peter Barca dishonored our service and America's commitment to veterans.
And Congress, Barca voted to cut our benefits, impacting our lives, our families. It's just wrong.
It's just wrong.
Veterans can't trust career politicians like Peter Barca, and neither can you.
Brian Stile will always work to protect veterans like me.
Brian is not a career politician, he's a fighter, and he's always working for us.
I'm Brian Stile, and I approve this message.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
You heard him.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
What would Eric Hovde do in the Senate? Mitch McConnell and extremists would gain a majority. The power to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape or incest. Criminal penalties for doctors. More extreme anti-abortion judges on the courts.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
Sometimes the smallest cracks can cause the biggest chills. This fall, watch out for The Draft.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Ready-to-eat meat producer Bruce Pack is recalling nearly 10 million pounds of meat and poultry products. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says routine testing found Listeria bacteria in the food. The affected products were shipped to restaurants and institutions nationwide. They were produced from June 19th to October 8th, so they still could be in consumers' fridges or freezers. It can take up to 10 weeks for symptoms of Listeria infection to manifest. Symptoms include fever, muscle aches, confusion, or seizures. So far, there have been no confirmed reports of any illness. Heads up for parents of newborns. Fisher Price recalling its Snugga swings. They say the swing should never be used for sleep and bedding materials should never be added to it. Doing so increases the risk of suffocation. People should remove both the headrest and body support insert from the seat pad before continuing any use of this swing. Fisher Price will provide a $25 refund to consumers who remove and destroy the headrest and body support insert. Between 2012 and 2022, there were reports of 5 deaths involving infants 1 to 3 months of age when the product was used for sleeping. Amazon expanding its same-day prescription delivery. The company says it's adding 20 new smaller pharmacies that will be embedded in Amazon same-day delivery sites. These are not physical locations where customers can walk in. Instead, they are highly automated pharmacy fulfillment sites overseen by a team of licensed pharmacists and pharmacy technicians. Now, by the end of next year, Amazon's pharmacy network will reach 45% of Amazon customers across the U.S. Still ahead, how you can help out at our upcoming Coats for Kids distribution event. Plus, the National Football League expecting record attendance numbers at next year's draft, which of course is in Green Bay. How many fans they're expecting in Titletown. And we could soon see our first big frost of the season. Alex with a complete forecast after a short break.
25-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $50 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's a 25-cent fuel saver for every $50 you spend in-store and online. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only at Hy-Vee.
Billionaire banker Eric Hovde has a plan for Social Security.
Do you favor either raising the retirement age or cutting benefits?
I favor both.
Raising the retirement age?
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Hovde wants to raise the retirement age as high as 72. And Hovde just proposed cutting Social Security by 28%, costing the average beneficiary more than $6,000 a year. Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I'm working harder than ever just to pay the bills and provide for my family. But here's what Kamala Harris thought my money should go to instead. Job training for illegal immigrants even after they commit crimes in America. Hotel rooms for illegal immigrants while our vets sleep on the street. Sex changes for illegal immigrants out of my pocket. Seriously, have these people lost their mind? Kamala Harris can never, ever be our president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It seems like everyone in Washington is either too far left or too far right. I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'll stand up to Democrats to fight for a secure border and stop wasteful spending. I'll stand up to extremists like Derek Van Orden, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions. Like you, I'm fed up and ready for change. I approve this message because it's time that we sent one of us to Congress.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Earn a 25-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $50 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's a 25-cent fuel saver for every $50 you spend in-store and online. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only at Hy-Vee.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Our Coach for Kids campaign is in need of volunteers for distribution later this month. The event will take place October 25th from 9 to 6 at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County in Fitchburg, Madison, and also Sun Prairie. Volunteers can sign up to help by emailing the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County Volunteer Coordinator. We have a link to that email at channel3000.com. Now, since 1986 now, area residents have stepped up to donate nearly 350,000 coats to Dane County families in need during Coats for Kids. Right now, you can nominate your business for Madison Magazine's Best Places to Work 2025 competition. This year's program will be a little different. Winners will be celebrated along with Best of Madison Business Award winners at an annual luncheon. Now, it's not all about winning here. Anyone who submits their business will also be able to see what their employees think about the workplace.
It's a good way for businesses just to see how they're doing, and they get all of the survey results back, and again, it's completely free for businesses to participate. So it's a good way to just get feedback from your employees on how you're doing.
Nominations for Best Places to Work are open through tomorrow, so act quickly. You can go to madisonmagazine.com to nominate your business. You'll get more details after that. The winners will be in the March 2025 issue. The Northern Lights may be visible as far south as Beloit tonight, so the city of Beloit is extending hours at 2 parks for those who want to sky gaze. Those parks are Townview Park and Eagles Ridge Park. They'll stay open until 11:59 p.m. All sky gazers have to leave by midnight. Noise should be kept to a minimum. Warm through the rest of the week, and Alex has more on what we might see in the skies tonight.
Yes, let's take a look, Eric, here at our chance for Northern Lights. Visible at least over the state of Wisconsin, again, including Madison and Beloit. Of course, the further north you go, where Northern Lights are quite common, definitely very likely over Canada and areas closer to the Arctic Circle. But we have our chance here in southern Wisconsin of seeing the Northern Lights once again. It's been kind of sneaky, too. Some of the forecasts have gone for no chances for Northern Lights, but yet they're still visible. And you can send us those weather photos, just like Rick has sent us a photo here. We have nearly 3,000 photos since the start of the year. Our QR code's right over here. You can scan that right now with your phone and upload right to channel3000.com/weather. So we can celebrate and see all these pretty photos that are being taken across southern Wisconsin. Now, Eric had mentioned warming on up. Well, we will. 82 for Friday. Then a series of cold fronts are going to come through. The temperatures are going to feel fall-like by the time we get to Monday, going on into Tuesday, before we roller coaster ride back up again into the mid 70s by the time we get into a little bit later portion of next week. Now, the likelihood of a frost is there. Monday night going into Tuesday morning. I think Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. Again, the entire state of Wisconsin. Temperatures at night could get into the mid to upper 20s in some of those outlying areas, and that would be cold enough for a hard freeze. Here's something that you haven't seen a whole lot of. We're adding to our SkyCam network, which will be incredibly helpful during severe weather season or when we have even winter storms, to get a first glimpse of what's going on across southern Wisconsin. Here we're looking southwest and Dodgeville. Thanks again, Upland Hills Health, for sponsoring our SkyCams, and what a pretty image that is there. Still mild out in southwestern Wisconsin and Iowa County. 68, not too far away from Dodgeville. Here in Madison, we got a 67, 72 in Janesville, and how about a 69-degree temperature in both tied in Wisconsin Dells and in Camp Douglas. Here in Dane County, 60s to the east, 70s to the west. We will have a very mild night tonight as temperatures cool down only into the mid to upper 50s by 10 o'clock when you join Jacob here for the 10 o'clock newscast. All we're going to do is low 50s for low temperatures tonight across much of southern Wisconsin, giving us that warm base for a very warm Friday. I don't have good news in the drought department. We still see the expansion of moderate drought conditions across much of southern Wisconsin. Much of the entire state of Wisconsin is experiencing abnormally dry conditions or drought conditions, and I don't see any changes in the drought monitor improving as we have low humidity values, increasing dry fuels as vegetation dries out, and slim rain chances down an inch for the month. And we're going to continue to see this year's amount of precipitation to go down as well until we can get some appreciable rains, which we have none of that in the 10-day forecast. Just a few showers on Sunday to usher in that cold air across southern Wisconsin with the frost chances. Early next week, we warm back up, but even that cold front late next weekend in the 10-day, that's not looking like a big rainmaker at this point in time.
All right, Alex, thank you. A record crowd is expected for the 2025 NFL Draft in April, which is hosted by the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Austin Straubel International Airport preparing for its busiest week ever. In fact, it's been planning for 2 years for all the extra activity. Airport officials say they have already added extra flights in and out of Green Bay, and they expect more to be added in the coming months. Officials say they are planning, get this, for 800,000 football fans to attend the draft in Green Bay. Now, the population of Brown County is only about 270,000. The 2025 NFL Draft runs from April 24th through the 26th.
And coming up in sports, Badger volleyball back home on Friday. Why they say they're motivated to play even better than they did the last time out. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WIN Senate is responsible for the content of this message.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up.
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up.
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Brian Stiles said he's proud of his extreme record. So why is he lying about it? Stiles said he was proud to be part of a group pushing to gut Social Security and Medicare, that he proudly supports abortion bans. And Brian Stiles said he's proud to be backed by extremists pushing a total ban nationwide. Peter Barca's backed by police, firefighters, and unions because Peter puts Wisconsin first, no matter the party, and that's something to be proud of.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
You heard him.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
What would Eric Hovde do in the Senate? Mitch McConnell and extremists would gain a majority. The power to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape or incest. Criminal penalties for doctors. More extreme anti-abortion judges on the courts.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
Steinhoffels is inviting you to help us celebrate our 90th anniversary. And thank you for making us part of your family. During Steinhoffels Friends and Family Sale, take $100 off $14.99, $200 off $29.99, and $300 off $44.99. Or take advantage of Steinhoffels' 36-month 0% financing and get a $200 MasterCard Rewards card. Steinhoffels Friends and Family Sale. Shop in store or online.
Kelly Sheffield said earlier in the week that his team's sweep of Washington was the best they've played this season. Now the challenge for Wisconsin isn't just to do it again, but to do it even better. Their first opportunity to do so is Friday when they welcome Maryland into the Fieldhouse. And you could say the Badgers are dialed in on playing even better than they did their last time out.
That's what we were talking about. We were in the locker room and we were like, hey, like, just because we had one really good match doesn't mean we're at the top of the food chain, you know? We still got to keep hunting, keep putting our head down, getting to work.
All of us just want to be the best that we can be, so whatever kind of that takes, and every game is, every point, every pass, every practice is going to be... every point, every practice, every pass is going to be like that because we just want to improve.
She's not wrong. Tomorrow night, be sure to tune in to this week's Wisconsin Huddle at 6:30. Tawi Walker and I look back at UW's big win over Purdue and then preview that road trip to Rutgers coming up. But before that, here's a sneak peek of this week's Wisconsin Huddle Unleashed. Well, welcome to this week's Wisconsin Huddle Unleashed. I'm Zach Hanley. He's Ches Malusi. And Ches, we're going to try to putt.
Let's do it.
Are you a golfer or no?
Try to be.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm not. So I'll let you go first, kind of show me the ropes. All right, so who's the best golfer on the team, or who are like the top couple guys?
I know Van Dyke's definitely one.
Yeah. Is that a quarterback thing, do you think?
It's a quarterback specialist thing. Those are like the guys that are usually the best at golf. All football teams, they got the most time. What am I doing wrong? Like, I just don't understand. Hey, I just don't understand. Like, there's something wrong with I think, the actual thing.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe it's just uneven. I think we should have probably started at like 4 instead of 8, just to get us going here. I will say, I was dialed in. They didn't show any of my
You're just abusing these guys in all these games.
Just humbling them.
Quick final check of the forecast.
Yeah, summer on Friday, 82 degrees, cooler this weekend, frost as we head into early next week, and then we warm back up.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll be back here tonight at 10.